So good morning, everybody. And yesterday we started our concept of algorithm design, where we briefly alluded to the process that we will follow of having an initial solution as a recursive definition, then analyzing that recursive definition, and then refining the solution. And when we said we will take up a recursive definition, we said that we will take up the most generalized recursive definition that comes to our mind, which has the various options of uh, choices that we can take at various points in time. We then discussed the largest, finding a simple problem of finding the largest. And then we came through the basic sequential decomposition of 1 and minus 1. Then we saw the general split into two non-empty sets, and we found that in all cases, the number of comparisons is n minus 1. We also give an inductive proof. We found the complexity. Then we went out to see something which is related to the knockout tournament formation. And we found out that another way of looking at it is the concept of tournaments, from where we moved a little bit into sequential and parallel algorithms. So the question was, why are we trying to learn all these complicated things for such a simple mechanism? That we will see as we proceed. The other thing that we also did was we proved that this problem cannot be solved with less than n minus 1 comparisons if you are using any comparison method. The next problem that we choose is to find the largest and the second largest. So can anybody tell me what is, find the largest and the smallest? So we now want to find the largest element and the smallest element. So largest and smallest. So max and min. Can anybody tell me what would your typical algorithm be? What we would like to do, we'd find the maximum, remove it, and then find the minimum, right? So
Yes, sir.
so we find the maximum, remove it. So that will take us n minus 1 plus how many more comparisons?
N minus 2.
So that will give us 2n minus 3 comparisons. We know that is obvious. So let us start our recursive definition method. So our single split will be that we check if L is, so here I did not check L to be 0, we assumed it to be non-empty. So if L is 1, return x1, x1. Otherwise, remove L, the first one, and then this max-min recursive function is supposed to return the largest and the smallest. Because it returns the largest and the smallest, the return is two values. So like in a program, you would return a record of two values, whatever. And then once you get two values, what will you do? You will compare this x1 with y1, and based on that you will check if x1 is greater than equal to y1, then you will set m1, which is the max, as x1, else m1 will be y1. If x1 is less than equal to y2, then obviously m2 is x1, else m2 is y2. So y1, y2 returns the max and min of L dashed. So is everybody convinced that this method works? Anybody needs to understand how this method works? The method works as follows. We have the initial list on the right hand side. We first take out 5 and call it recursively. Then we take out 8, call it recursively. We take out 3, call it recursively. We take out 1, call it recursively. We take out 2, call it recursively. Then 6 and 12. 6 return, so 12 alone returns 12, 12. When compared with 6, it returns 12, 6. Then when compared with 2, it returns 12, 2. Then when compared with 1, it returns 12, 1. Then when compared with 3, it returns 12, 1. When compared with 8, it returns 12, 1. When compared with 5, it returns 12, 1. Is it clear to everybody? Anybody has a doubt on this? Dhruv, Gahoy, are you okay with this?
Yes, sir.
And obviously, we can again prove it by induction. Now let us analyze the complexity. We know that if n is equal to 1, the number of comparisons is 0. Otherwise, it is Tn minus 1 plus 2 based on this recurrence equation. And if we solve it, we get 2n minus 1, which is 2n minus 2. Is this okay with everybody? Bhushan Nakade, are you okay with this?
Yes, sir.
Good. But if you recall, we had already a better algorithm of 2n minus 3. So what have we goofed up here? Can anybody say? What have we goofed up here?
So we again comparing the max 2 with max 1.
No. There are only two
In the
comparisons.
last step, we are again comparing 6 and 12.
So we can take two elements like return when.
Correct. Who said this? Aman, na? Perfect. See,
Yes, sir.
see when the list returns and you compare in any one of the recursive returns, then your comparisons are two comparisons. Our base condition was 1, but when there are only 2 elements, then how many comparisons are required?
1.
1. So I have to put the place where I goofed up is that I have to add one more base condition. If L equal to 2, then with one comparison I can do. Once I do that, then my recursive equation now becomes Tn is equal to 0 if n is equal to 1, equal to 1 if n is equal to 2, and is equal to Tn minus 1 plus 2 for n greater than 2. And if you solve this one, you will finally get 2n minus 3. Is it clear to everybody? Is it clear to everybody how you will get 2n minus 3?
Yes, sir.
Good. So this is our sequential. Then we do copybook of what we tried last day, where in the only largest problem. So what did we do? We split it up into two parts. So here we don't do the goof up. We have our base condition. So our max min 2, which returns 2 elements. Here, if L is equal to 1, we return x1, x1. If L is 2, then with a single comparison, we return x1, x2 or x2, x1. So this is our basis condition. This is our basis condition in our code. Then is our recursive split. How to split, we will decide. Then we split into two non-empty sets L1, L2, and for each of them recursively we return Y1, Y2 and Z1, Z2. Now all we need to do is compare Y1 with Z1 and y2 with z2. And based on that, we will be able to return our max and min. Is this more generalized recursive definition understood? Anybody has a doubt?
Sir, can you please repeat again?
Are you okay with the base conditions?
Yes, sir.
So then we split it into two non-empty sets, L1 and L2. This part is okay.
Yes, sir.
Then L1, I recursively call max min on L1. And what do I get? Y1, Y2, which is the max min of L1. Okay, up to
Yes,
here.
sir. Yes, sir.
Then I get Z1, Z2 as the max min of L2. Okay, up to here.
Yes, sir.
Now all I have to do is compare Y1 with Z1 to get the max of L and Y2 to Z with Z2 to get the min of L.
Yes, sir. Got it.
Perfect. Proof by
Yes, sir.
induction. Anybody still has a doubt? J. Milind Chaudhary, do you have a doubt?
No, sir.
Good, good. So just let us say we again start with this example. We have taken this, we broke it up into 5, 8, 3 and 1, 2, 6, 12. Then that we broke into 5, 8 and 3. This we broke into 1 and 2, 6, 12. This we broke into 2, 6 and 12. Please note that I'm not even deciding the order in which I will evaluate. All that I will do later. Now I am just analyzing how the recursion unfolds. So here, this is a base condition which yields 1 comparison. This is a base condition which yields 0 comparisons. Then we recompose, this returns 8, 5, this returns 3, 3. And then here again you recompose, again 2 comparisons, this returns 8, 3. Similarly, when you come to 2, 6 here, this returns 6, 2 with 1 comparison because the base is L equal to 2. This returns 0, 12, 12. Again, 2 more comparisons, 12, 2 is returned. This is a single element, so this returns 1, 1. Then this 12, 2 and 1, 1 are compared here. This returns 12, 1 and 12, 1 and 8, 3 are compared to reach 12, 1. And a total of 10 comparisons happens here. If we see our previous case, we will see here also we would have got 10 comparisons. That is not a problem. Everybody clear up to this point? Is everybody clear up to this point?
Yes, sir.
Good. Anybody has a doubt? Because the next point is most interesting. The next point says that this part is okay. Let us look at the case of 1, 2, 6, 12. This 1, 2, 6, 12, which we had broken up as 1 and 2, 6, 12. And then I broke it up as 2, 6 and 12. So I split 4 elements as 1 and 3. And I ended up with 5 comparisons. How? I got 1 comparison for this 2, 6, 0 comparisons for 12, 2 comparisons for 2, 6, 12, 0 comparisons for 1, and 2 comparisons for the final 1, 2, 6, 12. So which is 1 plus 1 here, plus 2 here, plus 2 here. On the other hand, if I had split that 1, 2, 6, 12 as 1, 2 and 6, 12, how many comparisons would I have got? Total?
4 comparisons.
4, sir.
4. Is everybody clear that I would have got 4? Jyotiraditya Aryan, are you clear? Jyotiraditya Aryan. Lavinder Kaur, are you clear?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Good, good. So now we have a difference. This did not happen when we did only the largest. For the largest, all splits were identical. But here we have a situation where there is a chance that there could be a better split than an arbitrary split. So let us delve further into it. So now we only need to bother about the number of elements. The case is if I have 7 elements and I break it up into 3 and 4, then if I have 4 elements, I break it up into 3, 1, I get 5, we have seen. And if I break it up into 2, 2, I get 4. So can anybody guess what is the general rule?
Sir, if we have even number of elements, we break into even divisions. Preferably, I think maybe 2 and n minus 2 sort of. And if it's odd, maybe we break it into odd and even.
Correct, correct. Please understand what he is saying. If n is even, split as even, even. And if n is odd, split as odd, even. Now let us take the special case for splitting it as 2n minus 2. 2n minus 2, that means if n is greater than 2, obviously, if n is either 1 or 2, we don't need to split. We are splitting, listen very carefully, we are splitting, if n is greater than 2, we are splitting it into 2n minus 2. If we split it up into 2n minus 2, which satisfies our even condition or odd even condition, whatever it is, then how do we compare our 1n minus 1 and 2n minus 2? So if my general recursive equation to understand the complexity is this. Pay very careful attention. Tn is equal to 0 if n equal to 1. It is equal to 1 if n equal to 2. It is equal to tk plus tn minus k plus 2 if n greater than 2. Has everybody understood this? This is critical for us to understand. Manav, Samir, Vardhan, have you understood?
Yes, sir.
Good, good. Now, if we choose k equal to 1, then we will get 2n minus 3. Everybody figure out, if we choose k equal to 1, we will get 2n minus 3. Anybody has a doubt? Mihir Raj. Mihir Raj, are you there?
Yes.
Have you been able to follow
Sir,
why you get
no
2n
doubt.
minus 3?
Sir, could you tell
Yes,
why
sir.
tn minus 1 breaks down?
Okay,
Like
let's
how
start calculating. Let us start calculating. Tn is equal to T1 plus Tn minus 1 plus 2. Got it? This part is clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
That will equal to T1 plus T1 plus Tn minus 2 plus 4.
Yeah.
So now proceed. This is if n is greater than 2, right? Now proceed. So at the end, what will happen? At the end of this recursion, you will end up, how many times will you go down like this?
n minus 2.
Yes, how many times will you go down like this?
n minus 2.
n minus 2.
n minus 2, sir.
Correct. N minus 2 steps you will go down like this, and you will be left with either T1 or
T2.
T1 or T2.
T2.
Correct. So if you are left with, so in the worst case, you'll be left with T2. So if you are left with T2, it will be 2n minus 2 plus what is T2? 1.
Yes, sir.
So it will become 2n minus 3. Clear? 2 bracket n minus 2 is 2n minus 4. Plus 1 will give you 2n minus 3.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Manav, got it?
Yes, sir.
Good. So if we split, now we are back to our original algorithm, we are safe. Now, if I break it up into 2n minus 2, then what will happen? 2, it will break up as T2. So let us see how it will happen. Let us see how it will happen. It will break up as T2. Tn will be T2 plus Tn minus 2 plus 2. This will become T2, 2T2 plus Tn minus how much? 4 plus 4, right?
Yes, sir.
So it will become 3T2 plus what? Now tell me, Tn minus
6.
plus
6.
6. What will it finally become? All these T2s are how much? 1, no? All these T2s are 1.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So where will it end? How many such T2s will happen such that how many such steps will happen? So in general, it will be K T2 plus T n minus
2K.
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 plus 2K.
Yes, sir.
And this will stop when K is equal to when n minus 2K is equal to either 0 or 1 or 2. Correct?
Yes,
This
sir.
will stop
Yes,
when
sir.
n minus 2K is equal to 1 or 0. Yes or no?
Yes, sir. Yes.
So if it is 1, anyway the value is 0. So now what does the value become? So this how many number of times will this occur? N by 2 times? Now tell me how many comparisons, what will be the final solution to this equation? Anybody?
n minus 1 by 2 plus.
Let's do it again. We have Tn is equal to 0 if n equal to 1, equal to 1 if n equal to 2, equal to T n minus 2 plus T2 plus 2. Correct? So this is equal to, what is the final answer to this?
So KT2 plus. You're asking in terms of T. Okay, sir.
Yeah, n. We know T2 is 1, no?
3n by 2 minus 2.
Is everybody convinced this is the answer?
So minus 1 n minus 1 by 2 plus n minus 1. So
Take n even, n odd case and you will get the answer. It is actually this value. The ceiling. That means because n may be odd, 3 by 2 n may be a fractional number, so it will become like this. You work it out. You just work it out. You all work it out. This is very straightforward. But have you now got an idea that now the split has given me a 50% reduction, at least for 25% reduction. Previously it was 2n, now it is 3n by 2. That means the factor was 2, it has now become 1.5. If we forget about the constant. The factor,
Yes, sir. 21%.
we have got a 25% reduction. So whatever we had done there, we now realize that this method may yield better results when we go to more complex situations. What is the next thing we do? We set up our tournament. And now tell me that when we set up our tournament, how does this tournament, that matchmaking knockout tournament or this tournament structure of maths, so will any tournament help me? We now know that any tournament will not help me if I make a skewed tournament like this. This will give 2n minus 3. On the other hand, if I make a proper tournament, which plays 2 players at least every time, that is, I play all the 2 players in the first round. This is one option. And then I move ahead. Then I will definitely get a better solution. So if I split even, if L is even, I split into even. If L is odd, I split into odd even. I will guarantee to get this. It is not only for k equal to 2n minus 2, but for even and odd even as well. Can anybody give me a better insight to get to this 3n by 3 by 2n minus 2? From this tournament structure, this will give you the idea of data structure. Because all the data structures that you have learned is all mugged up data structure, stack, queue, linked list, etc. Here is a data structure which you have not learned. It comes from the insight of the tournament. Manish Roy, any idea? Manish Roy, are you there? My goodness, he asked so many times, please include me in the class, please include me in the class, when he doesn't come to class. Muhammad Ayman? Muhammad Ayman, are you there? Manish, you're not responding. I can't hear you. You've written a message, I can see. So anybody else has a better insight? Anybody can say?
Sir, in the first comparisons, if we are comparing 2 elements, so we can set 2 sets of winning sets and lose sets. So it will take n by 2 comparisons. And then from the winning sets, by comparing n by 2 minus of number of terms, we can find the maximum of this element. And in the losing sets, similarly, by comparing n by 2 minus 1, we can find the lowest.
Perfect. Have you understood? Jyotiraditya Aryan, have you understood what he said? What Alapan Sen said just now? Jyotiraditya Aryan? Amatya, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, just note down the people who are not responding. They will be marked absent.
Okay, sure.
This one responded. Manish Roy responded. Yeah, Ishan, you are saying something?
So I was thinking along the same lines as what he explained, but so the progression would be n by 2 plus n by 4 plus the the converging progression. But if I use the formula for the sum, I'm getting n, not 3n by 2. So could you please explain how we will get the 3n by 2?
By this method which he just mentioned, or in the previous one, in the previous equation?
So by this method.
Okay,
so
let this method be clear to everybody. Let this method. Jogu, Bhanuteja, are you there in the class?
Yes, sir.
Did you understand the method which was just explained?
Sir, which the one student said?
Yes.
No, sir.
Okay. Who has understood the method other than Ishan and Alapan? Yeah, whosoever has understood, speak up.
So basically, when we first compare it, we get a set of winners and we get a set of losers. Right. So maximum will be from the set of winners and minimum will be from the set of losers. So now, like there were n people. So n by there is this n by 2 winners and there is n by 2 losers. So from n by 2 minus 1 comparison, we will get.
Good. Got it. So let us assume everybody heard it, right? The method is you first do a pairwise competition, and then from the pairwise competition, let us assume for the time being all are even. N is even. Let us assume n is even. Then we'll decide what to do. We'll decide for odd. So if n is even, first you pair them up and run a competition. And after the knockout, you have a set of n by 2 winners and n by 2 losers. Is everybody okay with me? Is everybody with me?
Yes, sir.
Now, from the winners, you find the largest, and from the losers, you find the smallest. Algorithm is clear?
So why don't we split the smaller arrays into winners and losers once again?
We have not defined an array yet. Which array?
Okay, sir. I mean, from the smaller lists we made of smaller sets we made of the losers and winners, we can split those lists again into new losers, new winners.
What will we do with the losers in the list of winners? What will we do with the losers in the list of winners?
They won't be needed. Like in the winners,
they won't be needed, so there's no point. From the winners, you find the maximum, and from the losers, we find the minimum. We have already solved the maximum finding problem, which is the same as the minimum finding problem, and we know that the optimal way to do it is in by n minus 1 for n, or a size of n, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So there's nothing else to do. Why do we bother? We have already analyzed that. We know that nobody can do it better than n minus 1, and we have an algorithm to do it by n minus 1. Whatever algorithm you choose. Have you understood, Rudra-Jyoti?
Yes, sir.
So the number, if n is even, then the first comparisons will require how many comparisons? The first part will require how many comparisons?
N by 2.
N by 2.
And then I will require 2
n by 4.
Correct? 1 to find max, 1 to find min.
Yes, sir.
So I get to what I am supposed to do. The odd case, what you'll do, you'll take out one element in the first round, and then you will do it for the rest. And then what will you do with this new element, which has been left out for the odd ones?
Compare with both.
Put it in both the lists. Good. Put it in both the lists, because it could be maximum, it could be minimum. So now we know that this data structuring, or this tournament structure, this knockout tournament, also gives us a new way of looking at things. So by analyzing the largest problem and the largest and the smallest problem, we have got some insights. Now we begin to analyze a new problem, which is called the largest and second largest. All right. So all of you tell me what would be the naive algorithm to find the largest and the second largest. What would be the naive algorithm to find the largest and the second largest?
Find largest, remove it, and then find second largest.
Perfect. Find largest, remove it, and find second largest. So if I have to solve the largest and the second largest problem, then I will find the largest, remove it, and find the second largest. I will get 2n minus 3, right?
Yes, sir.
I also know that I will be able to repeat the same steps of sequential comparison. And from there, I will get my method. If I apply whatever I did for max and min, and I apply the same split, because now for largest and second largest, my recursive definition is a little different. How is it? I have written max 1, max 2, B, and L. Listen very carefully. So L is x1, x2 to xn. If L is a single element, I return x1 null. Null means whatever. That value does not exist, so I return something. If L is of size 2, then with a single comparison, I return the largest or the second largest by a single comparison. If x1 greater than equal to x2, m1 is x1, m2 is x2. Else m1 is x2, m2 is x1. And I return m1, m2. That is what I'm supposed to return. Correct? I'm supposed to return m1, m2. Is the base condition understood? Everybody. Everybody, is the base condition understood?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Anybody who has not understood, please raise your hand, and please don't feel uncomfortable to raise your hand. I will explain it again. Good. Now, all of you think that what is my recursive condition? I will split it into two non-empty sets. I will get y1 and y2 from max 1, max 2 of L1. I will get z1, z2 from max 1, max 2 of L2. And how many comparisons do I want to use to recompose and find max 1 and max 2 of L? What is the maximum I want to use? How many comparisons I want to use? I cannot do it in one comparison. So I have to do it in at least two. Correct? So can you think of how to find max 1, max 2 from the two returned values y1, y2 and z1, z2? Can anybody tell me what to do? It is a little trickier than max and min.
So first we take out the maximum out of them. Like we'll compare the y1 and z1. Then after getting the maximum, we'll have to compare the left. Yeah, suppose y1 is the maximum, so then we'll compare z1 with y2, and then we'll know if it is the second maximum or not.
Perfect, perfect. So my conditions are like this, that I first compare y1 and z1. And if it is y1, then I will compare what? y2 with z1. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, sir.
And if it is Z1, then can Divyanshu Mittal, are you there? Divyanshu Mittal. Devraj Das Adhikari, are you there?
Yes, sir.
What will I do? I know that I first compare Y1 with Z1. If Y1 is greater, then I compare Y2 with Z1. If Z1 is greater than Y1, then what do I compare?
Sir, if Z1 is greater than Y2,
I compare Z1 with what? I compare Z1 with what? Do I compare Z1? See, I have found Z1 to be the largest. Now I have to find the second largest. Whom do I have to compare? Did you understand this side?
yes, sir. We first compare Y1.
Y1 with Z1 and Y1 is larger than Z1. Then whom do we compare? Y2 with Z1, right?
Yes, sir.
So now I have found Z1 is larger than Y1. Whom do we compare?
We should compare Z2 with Y1.
Y1. Good. So everybody is clear about this?
Yes, sir.
Good. So this is what I have written here. By two comparisons, I will get it done. So having done that, my structure now becomes identical to the max and min. Though the logic is slightly different, but the recursive structure is identical. Is it clear to everybody? Anybody has a doubt? Kumar Suprabhat, are you there?
Yes, sir, I am there, sir. I don't have any doubt.
So now this eventually leads to the same complexity. So we have found that max 1 and max 2 yield the same complexity. At least we have found a better algorithm by doing all this recursive definitions, split, etc., etc., etc. Good. Now, what is the next thing we are supposed to do according to our methodology? Can anybody tell me?
Tournament data structure.
Tournament structure. So the tournament structure, the same story can come, but now that winners and losers argument will not be there. Got it? Because from the winners, if I have a set of winners and I have a set of losers, then the second max can be either in the winners or in the losers. I don't know. But what is the insight I get from the tournament?
The second max might have been compared with the maximum, the first one, the one who has come first.
Might have been.
Will have.
The second max has to be compared with the first max element, sometime or the other. Isn't this the most important insight? The second max must have lost to the max in the tournament. Isn't this the main insight?
Yes.
Aman Kedia, is it fine?
Yes, sir.
Aman Singh, Aman Kumar Singh?
Yes, sir.
Good. So now, what does that tell us? That if I move backwards along the path of the winner, if I move backwards along the path of the winner and pick up all the elements whom the winner defeated, Are you all with me? I move along backwards along the path of the winner. That means this is the winner. Let me take a different color. This is the winner. So whom the winner defeated? Whom did the winner defeat?
8 to
6, then 8.
6, then 8. And what do I have to do from this set of those who lost to the winner?
Compare them.
Find maximum.
Find maximum. Everybody is clear about this?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So now are you getting an idea that there is more insight? This is all part of understanding how the recursion unfolds, how data structures are created. And then what happens? What is my objective now? To minimize, to define a tournament structure by which I minimize this set, the set of those who lost to the winner. So I could make my tournament like this. By this, if I make my tournament like this, what I have shown in this right hand top corner, will it minimize the set of people who lose to the winner?
No, sir.
No, sir.
So what am I trying to minimize in this? I'm trying to minimize the depth of the tournament. That means if I define this as depth 0, this as depth 1, this as depth 2, I'm trying to minimize the depth of the tournament. So if I play them all pairwise, and then again the winners I play pairwise, the winners again I play pairwise, the winners I play pairwise, and I'm assuming even for the time being, and I move on. Then what will be, if for n elements, what will be the depth of the tournament? How many players will be there in the level 0? N?
Yes, sir.
How many players will be there? So in level 0, number of players is n. In level 1, number of players will be
N by 2.
N by 2.
N by 2.
So in how many levels the number of players will become 1?
Log n base 2. Log n base 2.
Log n, log n.
Log n to the base 2. Now that I've got log n to the base 2, what happens to my algorithm? Max is found in how many steps? N minus 1. Second max is found in how many steps?
So log n of 2.
So this is even a better than 3n by 2. Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Chalo, so now whosoever asked me that very valid question last day, why are we doing all this for max? Are you satisfied?
Yes, sir.
Good, good, good. So now what else can we do? After we have found the second max, so let us look at it in a little better way. Let us look at this scenario. This is my tournament, and I found my max. Everybody is with me.
Yes, sir.
Everybody is with me.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Pay very careful attention. I make this minus infinity. I've made this minus infinity. So I know which is the max and I've made it minus infinity. Everybody is okay with me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So what I do is, whichever is the max, I make it minus infinity. And I just traverse along this path. What will the new value become here instead of 12? This is minus infinity.
6. 6.
What will the new value become here instead of 12 at the top?
8.
So I had got 12. I have got 8. Now what will I do to 8? Make it
minus
infinity.
What will I get? Now I go along from 8, I go up. What will this become?
5.
What will now this become?
5.
What will now this become?
6.
Again, I took only log n steps. What have I found?
Yes, sir.
What have I found? The
third largest.
Of the steps are being done in log of 2 n minus k, where like k is
correct. So now in approximately n log of 2n steps, what will I be able to do?
Sort this.
Sort the entire.
देखो आपने तो सब sorting पढ़ा था ना, quick sort, mud sort. ये टूर्नामेंट वाला sort तो पढ़ा नहीं था.
no, sir. Yes.
No, sir.
So this is the data structure. When you analyze it carefully, you will get newer and newer algorithms. So our max, max-min, and max-second-max have yielded 3 complexities by the same method. They have also yielded a new algorithm for sorting, which is as good as other sorting algorithms, at least by a paper and pen envelope, this one. So the sorting algorithm's complexity is what? Tn is equal to n minus 1, which is the first formation of the tournament, and n log n. This is sorting algorithm, which is n log n. When you do on Thursday, when you do these orders of complexity, you will get it much better. So let's come back and see where we are. All of you who wanted to form arrays and all that will now come and analyze it. What does our final conclusion say? For max, any split is fine. Choose 1 n minus 1. Why? Because it is simplest. It can be implemented in an array. So we end up saying that the obvious algorithm that we had thought is the easiest algorithm to implement. Clear to everybody?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
For max and min, we know that though there are many splits, odd, even, odd, odd, and even, and all that, 2n minus 2 is easiest. Why? Again, I can implement it by an array and a simple for loop. Clear?
Yes, sir.
But for this one, if I implement it by that 2n minus 2, I can implement it by an array by a simple for loop. But then again, I will get this. I will not get n minus 1 plus log of 2 base n minus 1. I will not get this. So for that, an array will not work. A simple array will not work. So I have to create a data structure to implement this. That means this data structure, which is created when I'm finding the largest, will have to be created so that I can move up and down, creating this infinity minus infinity back and forth. Is it clear? A simple array by which we found max or max and second max will not yield this best complexity algorithm that we have got till now. So I have to create, so which means that when I am forming my max, when I'm solving my max, I have to do it in a particular way, and I have to remember certain things and store them. That is called data structure. And based on that concept of data structuring, we will have to design a data structure for this tournament data. So I will not tell you how to do it. There are these old lectures of NPTEL, which is also in my, you can have a look. There are 3 lectures on Introduction to Data Structures 1, 2, 3. And there are 3 lectures on recursive definitions. You have a look at that. But this will evolve. This tournament structure will evolve to various modern data structures. We did this as a tournament structure. You can implement it and have fun with it. But this evolves into certain very interesting data structures which we shall learn, and one of them is a heap data structure, which is supposed to do the same thing that we wanted to do. It is more efficient than a tournament structure, and we will study that heap structure. Then there are other data structures like binary search trees, balanced binary search trees, where all this finding the largest, the next largest, sorting, all of them can be done in a much more efficient manner, and we shall see it as we proceed. This is where comes that algorithms plus data structures is equal to programs. So with this, we just briefly recap. We have now developed a methodology where we develop an initial solution, which is a recursive definition. With that recursive definition, we give an inductive proof. We analyze it. Then we analyze the unfolding of the recursion tree. We examine the structures. Then we decide where to split. And then there is more will come. And based on that, we also have to decide what data structures to use. And then slowly we come to the final algorithm. We have not yet cooked our biryani and our, all the complex dishes that we wanted to cook, a full menu. But we now know at least how to make a nice tasty salad of 3 simple problems that we have done. So any questions at this point in time? If you have understood, at least please raise your hands. Good. Anybody who has not understood, please raise your hand. The others may put them down. Anybody who has not understood? Naveen Sunny, what is your, okay, you have understood. Ashish Kumar Shah, anything you have not understood?
No, sir, I understood. Due to some issue, I cannot down my hand.
Ritik Prabhakar? Okay,
I understood, sir.
Okay, good, great. So we'll take a break of 5 minutes. Somebody can stop the recording. We'll take a break of 5 minutes. Y'all can have some water, etc. Churn your mind a little.